Hello, this is my build for my Stamplar for PvP. This is a no CP build, so it only really works well in no CP, and it's pretty tanky, and you can survive and do a fair amount of damage as well. So we'll just get into it. So the two sets I'm wearing is 7th Legion and Cyrodiil's Ward. So 7th Legion, you can see the heavy armor set. There's only two pieces of heavy armor though, 7th Legion, and then the jewelry is 7th Legion. So the 7th Legion is all impen, and then that's the effect also. So you get 10% when you take damage. You have 10% chance to gain 500 weapon damage, and you heal for 1290 health, and that can occur every 2 seconds. So that's pretty strong. And then Cyrodiil's Ward. This is gives you 2 stam recovery, which is super helpful, and a weapon damage. And then in addition, you also apply Major Defile. So all of our attacks are melee damage except for Pottle, because Pottle's the one that is not melee damage, but it's it's a ranged ability. So everything else will proc this Major Defile, even though it's for 3 seconds. It is that little bit of burst time you need to burst down enemy players. So we have 2 well-fitted pieces. I would prefer to have just one well-fitted, so I just keep this one, and then I would get this impen, but everything else is impen. Everything is also max stam armor glyphs. And then right now we have still 1 healthy. I would like to just try Swift on a Stamplar here instead, because I do have 2 robust already, but I would like to try putting on 1 Swift trait just to see how it goes. It's easier to move around in line of sight, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this one yet. So I'm just leaving it healthy. I don't even think I have enough transmute. Yeah, I don't even have enough transmute crystals right now to do anything anyway. So this is healthy right now, but I would try Swift. If Swift doesn't work out well, I'd probably just go with robust. So that's the armor. The 2 weapon sets I'm using is Asylum's Battle Axe for the bleed as well, and then an axe is pretty strong, and I can just have it traded to Nirnhound, and Oblivion damage just for the straight damage being dealt. And then I have Asylum Sword and Board, so this one-hander doesn't really matter. I'll just show you real quick. So increased weapon damage and spell damage is my jewelry. Sorry, not jewelry. My enchantment, and then powered is the trait. I just didn't bother transmuting it, and powered's fine for the back. You could also have maybe decisive, because I'm using pretty cheap alts, so decisive might be pretty good, or defending even for extra little bit of resistances. But powered is fine. It's pretty versatile because it's the back bar, and then we have impen shield on the back bar as well. Also, because we only have 2 pieces, because we have 2 pieces of well-fitted, so an extra impen piece on the back is fine. So this set is like, I don't see anyone else using this setup at all. The Asylum Sword and Board, I haven't even seen this used ever. So obviously I have to use the skill, because like, why else would I be using it? So the skill itself isn't bad, and I chose Absorb Magicka just because when you absorb projectiles, you get health back as well, which is helpful. Except this also, you can passively generate Magicka. So I know how it says if defensive posture expires without reflecting or absorbing a spell projectile, you restore 4,500 Magicka instead. What you can do, so I'll just lose all this. Okay, you can just passively generate it back. See how it just shoots back up? So you trade stam back for the cost of this ability, so 1,800 for the Magicka back instead. So you get I think it's about like 2,000 Magicka back each time you recast it, which is pretty strong. So you don't have to actually wait for it to expire. So how long does that last? 29 seconds? Is it a 30-second? Yeah, so 30 seconds it lasts, but you don't have to wait the whole 30 seconds to generate Magicka back. You can just recast it over and over again. So if you need to have, like, if you already have no Magicka from buffing up and everything, and then you need to cast another Purify, you can just do that over and over, and then you can just keep on, like, infinitely casting these. It's That's why it's pretty strong, actually. Like, I didn't realize that's how it worked at all until I was testing it out just to see what I could do with this. So that's why I'm running the sword board, just because I don't have that much magicka as a stam class. And then I do rely on my buff up, so to like get my major resistances, I do need to use a magic ability, and then my purify, which is super expensive. But I use it also just to purge any abilities that are on me, as well as just heal over time, so I can fight in this circle as well, and it slows people. So those are the sets that I'm wearing right now, and then also this is just for alt gen as well. So pretty strong, and we'll go into abilities. So we have crit rush. If I was to put on Swift, I might actually change crit rush, just because I think Swift buffs your movement speed by a fair amount, and then I would just put more. And then I also have 2 of these, so it's already reduced by 10% to sprint as well, and no CP. So then I would have a Swift trait, I can move quicker. But right now we have crit rush. I would choose Stampede over this, but doesn't really matter right now. So crit rush is fine. And then we have biting jabs, the obvious Stamplar ability. So so I think, does this count? I don't know if this actually counts for melee, but biting jabs definitely will. And each time you hit them with the jabs, you have the chance to proc Major Defile on the enemy. So jabs is super strong. Rally, also our heal, but also the source of our major brutality, because I don't use pots that give you major brutality. So this is strong. Dizzying Swing is our stun. This is just super old. So Dizzying Swing is what I use to stun people. Also deals a ton of damage. Executioners are execute, but also because we are running the Xylem two-hander, so we generate ult like that. And Flawless Dawnbreaker. So ideally this would be Dawnbreaker of smiting, but because I also use this guy for PvE, he has Flawless Dawnbreaker here instead. But I was also trying Werewolf, so once I have Werewolf leveled, I'm going to try it instead of this. But I've been slowly leveling it, so we're just a couple hundred more kills to go, and then we'll be level 10, so maybe like 400 more or something, 500. And then we're going to have Werewolf here instead, but right now I would choose Dawnbreaker of Smiting. Backbar, like I said, we have Absorb Magicka because we're running the Xylem Sword and Board. Purify, so we have Extended Ritual, it lasts longer, and we're not really trying to damage anybody in it because it does like no damage anyway, especially because we're also Stam, so it'll do even less damage. This is just really used for Purify and then a heal over time, and then people in your area can also use it as a purge. This is our buff, our major resistances, so this is like a necessity. And then obviously I chose the one for PvP because I don't PvE mag for this guy, so he doesn't need the extra bit of magical recoveries. So we have minor protection and minor vitality, so that helps a lot, as well as the major resistances. And then we have vigor. Vigor is our other heal, or better heal anyway. Can't really just rely on just what the fuck? That was weird. Can't really just rely on rally to do it, so vigor's here as well. Puddle, this is our burst down effect, just because it does a ton of damage super quickly, and then also puts minor fracture on them, which is what we need. And then minor breach if someone around you is also hitting them with magic abilities, so that's helpful because we don't have a source of major fracture or any sort of pen really, so this is all we have really. And then remembrance is the heal, so I'm just using remembrance right now just to be annoying, I guess, because in Battlegrounds it's really annoying when someone just pops it, because everyone just stops attacking you and then goes to switch to someone else because you can't really kill the person who has like the major protection and everything. So that's the sets and the abilities. The pots that I'm using, where are they? Did I scroll past them? Oh yeah, right here. So these are the pots that I use. I use immovability, so you become immune to knockback and disabling effects, and then restore health, restore stam. The other one you could use is immunability. No, not immune. Yeah, Immunability, Stam, and then Major Expedition, so you move quicker. Those are the ones that I would use. But this is what I like to use instead for no CP because I don't have a lot of good heals, so then I just use it also sort of as a heal and as Stam. And then also it helps because you can't be knocked back and everything for 10 seconds. And I use the Serpent for PvE in Battlegrounds just because it does give you that extra little bit of Stam. Right now, because we are in CP, I have 1900 Stam, but that goes down to about 1500 around there in no CP. So I just like to use that. And buffed in no CP, it's about 4.2k weapon damage, so it's pretty strong still, especially with all this with 7th Legion proccing, and then you also have Pottle. What the fuck just happened? What was that? Thank God that was the end of the video, but that's the build.